Good afternoon and welcome to First Responder Day here outside the BTV studios in our parking lot on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. My name is John Luck of BTV and I'm joined by Travis Partington of Oscar Mike Radio. And first of all, what a day we have here, right around 70 degrees. You can't ask for better.
Nothing better than this. Last weekend was rainy, miserable, cloudy, just brutal New England. And today we're having a good time.
And this is a collaborative effort here. We have a number of first responders from Bridgewater, East Bridgewater, West Bridgewater. Bridgewater State's Police Department is here as well. So I don't think we have a safer place. We have the Army and the Marines nearby. So we have people everywhere. And it's thanks to the efforts primarily of Fire for Effect and the great work they do.
Fire for Effect Foundation is a fairly new nonprofit, but an effective nonprofit who's worked hard to make the community a better place, not only for the residents of Bridgewater, but also for the veterans and people who serve Bridgewater. It's just really amazing to see.
And Travis is a part of Oscar Mike Radio. So for those that don't know what Oscar Mike Radio is, what is it?
So Oscar Mike Radio is a podcast, a show I started almost 8 years ago. I'm closing on 400 episodes. And it's about military and veterans stories, affairs, people who are amazing, and it's just getting better. It's one of the reasons why I'm here. I had Alan on my show and learned a lot about him.
Yeah, Al's done a lot of great work putting this all together, really organizing everything here. And we have a number of local groups here as well. Easter Seals Bridgewater, who you've seen a lot of on Bridgewater television. We also have, we have a Fire for Effect tent. We have Garrison speed bikes here as well. But like I said, we have the Army and Marines here, including a pull-up bar. And I saw a number of people trying to, do a number of pull-ups. So how high do you think how many pull-ups do you think you could do? Because I could probably maybe muster one in game over.
I haven't done it in a while, so maybe 5 if I'm, really motivated.
All right, I saw a few people do that. We also have Axis going on. Black Hat Brew Works will be joined by Paul Mulcahy, the owner of Black Hat Brew Works, coming up in just a little bit, and soon to be the vice president of Fire for Effect Foundation. And this is just a group that continues to grow, and it's great to see.
Absolutely. We got South Shore Smokehouse. So barbecue down here. We have people walking their dogs, all kinds of places. Bay State Bridgewater Fitness. So you can get strong, you can get in shape, you can see what's going on. We got the perfect walkway and a place for the kids to play. Come on down.
Yeah, and we want to talk about Alan, what he's done out here, because before we had the grass here, we had kind of everything cleaned up. This was all a bunch of just dirt, rocks, and you couldn't see the festival taking place here that we have here. And this is just the start of a busy season. There's a 2-day music festival coming up in September called Thrive, and Al's done a great job organizing that along with Fire for Effect. And again, seeing people out here, that's awesome to see. I mean, 3 years ago, we couldn't see anything like that happen here.
Well, that's the truth, John. I mean, if you on my right was, I don't know how to say, it was a jungle. And with trash and stuff that built up over the years. And, in typical Marine Corps style, Alan got people together and they cleaned it up, and now it's a beautiful place where the community can come, bring your kids, just hang out and have a good time like we are today.
And he's also worked with the town as well. They're actually going to be paving over everything here, and I believe later on this summer. So that's going to be great because we do have a number of potholes here. We have grass growing everywhere within the cracks. So a lot safer of an environment coming up here, but we do have a number of guests coming up here. I mentioned Paul Mulcahy will be joined by a member of the Bridgewater Fire Department. I believe we'll have someone here from the DA's office. We'll have Town Counselor Brad McKinnon joining us. So we have a little bit of everything coming up here on the program.
So if you aren't down here, you should be down here. And if you miss us for whatever reason, check it out and get ready to mark it on your calendar for 2025.
And like I said, there's Thrive. There's also a Brew Fest coming up here. We'll talk about that with Paul when he joins us. And I believe there's actually a Country Fest that's going to be taking place that same weekend. So there's a little something for everyone coming up here. And we'll have the Fire for Effect website there that has all the events that will be coming up this summer, because this is going to be the place to be. We actually have a few movie nights that are in the works.
That's right.
So out here on the lawn, nothing better than hanging out on the lawn during the summertime, watch some movies.
Popcorn, little, refreshing drink.
We have Black Hat here. I'm sure they can come up with something. And speaking of, I see Paul Mulcahy coming up here. So we'll take a quick break, and when we return, we'll be joined by the owner of Black Hat Brew Works. Don't go anywhere. Back here at First Responder Day, John Luck with Travis Partington, and we're joined by the owner of Black Cat Brew Works, Paul Mulcahy. Thanks for joining us, and what's been a great day here at Town River Landing.
Yeah, this is it's a long process to get here, and I've been super pumped about being a part of it. And you know, seeing all these folks here coming to support our first responders is just, you know, fantastic. These are the things that Bridgewater needs to continue doing, right?
What's it like taking your brewery and being remote and seeing people enjoy your work literally and supporting first responders at the same time?
Well, Black Hat, you know, we have a long background of doing community involved events. And so I grew up in Brockton, and I'm an Eagle Scout from Troop 5 in Brockton. My father was an Army veteran and very much a community-oriented man, and he taught me well. And so from the time we opened, we thought, if we can use what we have with Black Hat to just, you know, add to or be a host to great events that support our veterans, our first responders, even, you know, animal shelters, just get into the community and do good things. That's really, it's very rewarding to be able to put on an event and be here and be immersed in this wonderful, you know, smiling faces, right?
Having a good time. Happy
people. You know, we had enough with COVID, you know, when COVID happened and everything kind of, you know, ramped down and we weren't able to have anybody in our brewery. It was, you know, it was sad.
Wow.
And we like to, this is what we love. And this means so much to the town. But yes, I think, you know, to be a part of it and have our beer be here, have people enjoying our beer, it's really cool.
Did Paul tell you it's the best brewery in Bridgewater?
Not yet.
Police chief approved.
I'm going to let you guys get back that from him. Good to see you. See you guys.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you. So I want to ask you about your shirt.
We just got photo bombed from the chief of police, everybody. That's Chris Del Monte, and he is one of the best individuals I've ever met in my life. I love Chris Del Monte.
That gets you out of a speeding ticket, right? If he interview bombs you. So I want to ask you about the shirt you have on here, Healing Our Heroes, a great effort that you have at the brewery. I was there, I believe, last year, 2 years ago, and It was great to see everyone coming out for such a great cause. Can you tell us about that? Because I believe you have another event coming up.
It is. Our Healing Our Heroes event is directly benefits the Home Base Foundation, which is put on by Mass General, and Run to Home Base, which is picked up by the Boston Red Sox Foundation. This is our 4th year doing it. We have a day of live music, food trucks, great raffles and fundraising to help support veterans with PTSD. And that's a huge thing for us. Not only veterans, but first responders as well. Like the CISM, you know, foundation that helps our first responders in times of need to process those things that they see on a daily basis, right? Because they, you know, when we make a phone call, they run to us, and sometimes they don't see things that are so nice. And there's a process to that needs to be dealt with to keep these individuals, these men and these women, you know, psychologically, you know, okay with that. That's their job, but it doesn't mean that it's not traumatic. And so specifically the Run to Home Base Foundation deals with our veterans and PTSD, we call them the invisible wounds of war, things that people don't always think about, but they're real. They're very real. And they're things that need to be brought to people's attention. And so we've partnered up with an Army veteran. Heather Blasco is a great regular customer. Her husband, Craig, came up with this idea 4 years ago, and we started it, and we said, let's do it. And so every year it's grown, and you've been there multiple years. You've seen it grow. This year is going to be the biggest one yet. It is May 25th at Black Cat Brew Works from noon to 10 p.m. We've got 3 great bands, food truck, ice cream truck. We've got Bowser's Basement, video games coming to do a Mario Kart tournament for the
All
kids. Yeah, I mean, this year we're stepping our game up a little bit. Unfortunately, this year we've had Wally the Green Monster in years past. Unfortunately, the Red Sox have a home game that day, and we are unable to get Wally. So we tried to think of something really cool to bring for the kids. And so Bowser's Basement, who's a local business out of Taunton and Plymouth, they are going to do a Mario Kart tournament. We've got a few other vendors coming, but it really is just a day, again, like today, to celebrate our veterans, our first responders, all these people that run into danger when we need them. And it's so important that people just, love and respect these folks and gives us the support that's needed. And so, again, to be a part of that, to be a part of this, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, because you work so hard to, craft the perfect brew. You're always chasing that right. What's it like to know that something that you create that people enjoy now goes back into the community to help those who serve us?
Yeah, it's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Like I say, growing up in Brockton, being in Troop 5, Brockton, the Green Machine, being an Eagle Scout, community service, respect for your elders, very simple things, right? Having a dad who was an Army vet, who went over to, overseas at one point in his career, and knowing and hearing the stories that he told, and then being able to do something with my business now that, for us, I always, it's easy. We can do that. Yeah, it's easy. What do you want to do? Let's do it. You want to do a fundraiser? Let's do, because it is easy.
Right.
It's hard to not do something. That's
Really?
how I feel about it. It's hard to turn your eye to a great cause that you can help out with, and we don't have to donate. We're not we're a small business, and it's not always about donating money, but it's helping to raise money, helping to raise awareness, putting eyes on an organization. We work with so many great organizations, veterans, South Shore Veterans Incorporated. They specialize in ramps and scooters
That's right.
for veterans. They're based out of Whitman. They're great. Larkin Motorsports, who's here in Bridgewater, who has the Larkin Foundation. If you're a veteran with a car that's in disrepair and you need to get to work, they will take your car in. They will help you fix your car, and they will take that, the funds out of their foundation to help you do that. And to help, there's so many wonderful organizations that just to not get involved in it, to me, I don't know. It's crazy. Like, this is what we're here for. This is what we should all be doing.
And when I think about local, I think of Black Hat Brew Works because of everything you've done for the community. You started here in Bridgewater. You have the partnership with Mike Shea's Coffee, I believe, with some of your brews. Can you just talk about that local aspect of your business? Because ever since I've known you and we've covered you for the brewery, I mean, when I think of Bridgewater, I think of Black Hat Brew Works.
Well, thank you, man. And you guys have always been there at all of our events to help cover and help bring awareness. And, small businesses are the lifeblood of a community. Big corporate businesses are great. They can help sponsor big events. They can help us. But small businesses are the root. And yes, we Mike Shea's Coffee, who's a Bridgewater coffee roaster. We use his coffee in our coffee stout. He actually private labels 2 brands of coffee that we sell through our tap room. You can buy it in whole bean or ground. We do a dark roast. We do a medium roast. People like Greenvine Pickles. He's here today. We're actually helping him out today. Greenvine Pickles is another Bridgewater business, small business. Woofy Biscuits. Woofy Biscuits. So they take our spent grain when we're done brewing, and they add egg and flour and wheat and peanut butter, and they make dog treats. And we sell those dog treats in the tap room. She sells them, Jean Rubo. She sells them all over the South Shore. And those little partnerships, those little circles that you create, spread.
Yeah.
And they keep spreading. The more you create those little connections. But if you don't, it's never going to go anywhere.
Right.
And, it's just about, I mean, pardon my French, but it's about getting off your ass and doing something.
Well, so just a beer question real quick.
Yeah.
Can you use coffee and beer in the same concoction?
Oh, absolutely. So we have a coffee stout called the Goat Herder.
The goat herder.
The Goat Herder. So the story is in Ethiopia, where they say coffee was invented or coffee was discovered. The plant that does the coffee beans. The goat herder was moving his goats through the field one day, and they found this plant with red berries. And the goats started eating the red berries, and the next thing you know, they were dancing around in the field. It's an old wives' tale kind of a thing, but it's a fun story. And so when we first opened, we decided a lot of people do hoppy beers, and we like our IPAs, we like our hoppy beers, and people do like a single hopped IPA. So they might do Simcoe or Amarillo or Citra or Mosaic. We thought, why can't we do that with a stout? And so we did Sumatra and Ethiopian and Colombian, and we did, I don't know, 4 or 5 of them, and the Ethiopian was the one that had the best response. And so we thought, let's turn this into a beer. So we brew the beer.
Yep.
We put that beer into the fermenter. We let it ferment for about 10 days. So we're converting sugars to alcohol. And at the 10-day mark, we take a couple of pounds of Mike Shea's Ethiopian medium roast coffee. We put it into a mesh bag that's all sanitized, and we drop that into the fermenter for 12 hours. And that creates kind of a cold brew inside of the coffee. And then those flavors meld together, and it becomes something we think is pretty magical. Now, today, and here's a funny thing. We've been doing these oddball keg of the weeks at Black Hat Brew Works. So something new every week, a variation on a standard beer. So today at Black Hat Brew Works, you can actually get a Goat Herder coffee stout infused with chocolate and peanut butter.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. That's a trinity right there.
I don't even drink, and I want to try that. I mean, you had me a coffee, but peanut butter too? Let's go.
It's very much a dessert beer. And, the brewing industry as a whole has taken on, we have an amazing set of breweries on the South Shore in Massachusetts, in the country. And people get very innovative with what they're putting into beer these days. We do a blueberry Kolsch. We do a strawberry blonde. People like to experience different flavors. The person that wasn't a beer drinker before might now discover that.
I don't know. I mean, if I try one, I might become one.
I will say the strawberry blonde, that is awesome. I had that at the last event we had here, and ever since then, if I'm walking in and I'll see a 4-pack, whatever, pick it up, have one on a Friday night. Awesome. Strawberry blonde, Bridgewater blonde is another popular one. So a lot of popular flavors. What do you have today that people are trying out?
So today we try to bring a good variety of nice low ABV beers that are suitable for a beautiful day like today. Our blueberry Kolsch is our fruited beer that we brought today. We did bring our Daniel's Irish Red, a nice little bit darker option. We did bring our Bridgewater Blonde because that is our flagship and we love our town. And then we also brought our Fuzzy Bunny Slippers. And Fuzzy Bunny Slippers is our session IPA. It's a low ABV hoppy beer. It's really nice, refreshing, clean, palatable for everybody. In an event like this, we're obviously not going to bring our double IPAs or, anything with a huge ABV attached to it. We want people to hang out and enjoy. We want families to come. So anytime we do something like this, we try to keep everything, in that 4 or 5% level.
Sure.
People can enjoy something off one of our food trucks that you can see behind us. Gonzalez Food Truck and South Shore Smokehouse, who are both Bridgewater small businesses and here supporting this wonderful event. Yeah.
And my final question is, you're not just the owner of Black Hat Brew Works. You now have a new title, the Vice President of Fire for Effects. So can you talk about being named the Vice President of our organization and just the great work you've done with Al Lacerda in putting this together, but also all of these events?
Well, first off, Al is a phenomenal human being. And we met each other about 3 years ago, and we very quickly found out that the two of us don't sleep much, and we really like to do cool stuff. And I got involved with Fire for Effect as just strictly, hey man, I'm here to support, I'm here to help. Anything that we can do, anything that I can do from my standpoint. We do a lot of live music at Black Hat Brew Works. We're tied in with Bridgewater's Music Alley, who helps us with a lot of live music. We have about 25 different food trucks we work with, and we serve beer. And so if I can just become the cruise director, I'm happy. I'm your entertainment director, bands, food trucks, and beer. And over the last few years, it's grown into an incredible friendship with everybody on the board of Fire for Effect. Just a great group. And I can't even you can't even get me started on it, because I'll probably shed a tear here on live camera. But I am extremely honored and privileged for this great organization to even offer me this position in their organization. I think it's something my dad would be proud of.
Absolutely.
So it means a lot. We have a lot of great things coming up, and we've been working really hard since probably about September of last year.
Wow. Just
to get the events that we're gonna try to pull off down here at Town River Landing. We have a Battle of the Bands coming up on May 18th. We have Summerfest coming up in June 22nd. We have our South Shore Farmer Brew Fest, which will bring 30 South Shore breweries to Bridgewater, food trucks, bands. That'll be on July 13th. Country Fest the next day on July 14th. I think I'm most excited for the Mechanical Bull. Stay tuned for the Mechanical Bull. And then we're capping it all off at the end of September, September 20 and 21, with what we're calling the Thrive Music Festival.
Awesome.
And it's going to be a 2-day music fest. We're bringing some incredible music talent from Massachusetts, but nationally touring acts from Massachusetts to Bridgewater. This is a first of its kind event, as far as I know. I mean, I did hear way back in the day, Blue Oyster Cult played in Bridgewater from some of the older folks here in town. But I think this is going to be an event that is going to blow people away. And just to be a part of it, just to be involved in it is special. It's really special.
Well, thank you very much for joining us and talking to us about everything that you're doing. And best of luck in the future, as this is going to be a popular place this summer.
I think so. I think we'll be doing this a lot.
Paul Mulcahy of Black Hat Brew Works and the Vice President of Fire for Effect Foundation join us. We'll take a quick break, have more here from Town River Landing after this.
We did have temperature.
Sometimes it's hard to know where to start when the cycle never stops. You're not alone. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
Back here outside of our BTV studios on First Responder Day, and we are joined by a first responder, Billy Leeb of the Bridgewater Fire Department, kind enough to stop by and talk to us for a little bit. And first thing I want to ask you is, a day like this, people can come in, see the fire department, not have anything distressing going on. I'd imagine that's a good thing for you guys as well, seeing the community.
It's the best thing. We're so used to interacting with people, during the worst moments of their life. So if we can see you on a regular day like this, it's good for you, but it's great for us too. It's just awesome. Today's an awesome day.
So let me ask you this. as a firefighter, are you happier when you have nothing to do, or are you happier chasing the fire?
I don't think you're going to find a fireman who doesn't like chasing fire, but we prefer to not be busy. You know, but at the same time, we love helping people.
Yeah.
You know, so we don't mind. You know, and people don't. I think people forget. You know, we'll come pick you up. We'll come let you in your house. We'll check your smoke detectors and smoke alarms. We love that. And so this for us, we love this. But, you know, we don't mind being busy, but you know, come find us now instead of when 911's being used.
And I saw we have a big ladder truck out there. I believe that's from West Bridgewater.
It is.
What do we have from the Bridgewater Fire Department today?
So we got our engine 3 and our ambulance 3, and we've got a couple guys doing tours with that. Yep, West Bridgewater came with their ladder truck. We thank them for that. And Middleborough came with one of their reserve engines, so we're pretty lucky to have them here too.
And I believe the fire department getting a new station coming up in the future here. So you guys moving out of the older station, I'd imagine there's a little bit of excitement amongst the department.
There is. Yeah, it's always exciting, you know, and we're lucky they've given us some opportunity to build that station the way that we like it, because it is our home. You know, we spend more time at the fire station than we do at home, and that's our family. So we're really lucky, and it's really neat too, because it's given us this opportunity to collect a lot of history. The very front of that station will be like a little mini museum. That's really one of the big things, and so that's really cool.
It's just something when you think about where firefighting came from, what it is now. Like horses used to draw the carts.
That's right.
It's hard to believe. And now you have trucks that can do everything, anywhere, anytime.
Anytime. And what's going to be awesome is one of the original hand-drawn pumps, the Osamaquin, is actually still alive and well, and it will be visible at the new fire station, which is cool. But you're right. The technology is evolving and the apparatus is the same, but really the job hasn't changed. The job's the same. It's about community. It's about people. Whether you're hand drawing the fire truck, you're on the back of a horse, or you're in some of these new, really expensive apparatus. But it's just cool.
You know, I got like an off the wall question for you.
All right.
You're going to help one of my buddies in a fight with his wife. Are you ready for this? So she likes hanging stuff on the walls, and they're getting into a tussle. He's like, honey, these things are fire hazards if we're not careful. And she's like, no, they're not. You know, and they're like little knickknacks and wood stuff.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on that? Are wall decorations fire hazards? Are they dangerous, or can they be, safely done?
So
do you want to wade into that one?
I don't think I want to get involved.
A marriage is on the line here, apparently.
I can tell you that I saved my marriage by I don't use nails. I use command strips.
Oh,
that saves it, right? But it depends what you're hanging up. If you're hanging up some picture frames, that's fine. You just have to remember, wherever it is, you don't want a candle to be within 3 feet of it, right? And that's the big thing. So a lot of people will put shelving up and they put the candles on there. That's a big no-no, right? So the candle needs to be waist level, no higher, and you got to make sure it's not within 3 feet of something.
I got to tell you, sir, if I had a choice between hanging stuff on the walls or my wife going to Yankee Candle, hang stuff on the walls all day long.
Oh, yeah.
So you mentioned that you spend more time at the fire department than with your family. And I remember I went on a tour of the fire department that's getting closed down in a year or so. You guys have a kitchen, you have a living room, you have bedrooms. Just talk about the life of a firefighter, because
Sure.
I don't think a lot of people really take into account how long you guys work, the shifts you work,
Right.
and the fact that you truly are a family.
So we do 48 hours a week at the fire station, and we're there the entire time. We have a full bedroom. At the old fire station on School Street now, it's a communal room, so we're just all sleeping in the same room. The new fire station will have individual rooms, but there's something to be said. There's a really big tradition, many books and podcasts out there about the fire station coffee table. And so that dining room table, kitchen table, coffee table, as you call it, that is really where our family goes. And we do breakfast. We typically do lunch, and we always do dinner there. And, there's no rank. You're sitting next to the captain or the chief or the deputy, and you're just having a meal. And, we do everything together, and yeah, we talk politics, we watch the golf games, and we do all that. But, it really is something that I don't think I could ever truly describe, but it is a family. And we do, when we have holidays, we guys are working Christmas Eve, and we will bring our families in there to sit down with everybody. But days like today, it's just, this is awesome.
So somebody's cooking these meals,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So who's your cook? Who's like your go-to guy for, like, I don't know, pasta or, the right kind of meat?
So on my group 1, and I'll put it out there, we are the best group. We're very lucky. Our captain is a connoisseur, and we do some good prime ribs, and we cook a lot of steak and stuff. I tend to be the Italian guy. I make a good chicken parm, but everybody's got a little different. We got a chili guy. We've got a taco salad guy. We've got a stir fry guy. And we really do focus on the meals. We're busy and we tend to miss our meals. So if we can sit down and do the meal before or after that call, it's huge.
Yeah.
And so we do plan the menu out. There should be a text here coming out soon because we're coming up to work, so we do keep Crescetti's in business, I will say.
So you have the talented cooks. Is there anyone cooking that you feel like, I think I'll skip this meal. I'll go past this one.
Oh no, we're very honest with each other, and it's just like being in the military. We have guys who cook, and we have the guys who are going to do the dishes.
Oh,
We'll just leave it there. I think. Billy Leeb, thank you very much for joining us. Great to have you here.
Thank you.
Have fun the rest of the day.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much.
Take another quick break, and we'll come back to you here in just a little bit.
There have been many members of this corporation who have served voluntarily and spent many hours of their personal time to work toward creating a local network with varied programs to serve the community of Bridgewater. The BTV Access Corporation over the years has provided a platform for many individuals to express their creative ideas and different programs of interest to this community.
This is a community facility. BTV Cable Access is here to present and to represent all the voices in town, all of the varying attitudes and ideas and feelings that Bridgewater has.
In 5, 4, 3, 2. Welcome back here to First Responder Day. I am John Luck with Travis Partington of Oscar Mike Radio and a bumblebee flying by. And we're now joined by one of the town councilors here in Bridgewater, Brad McKinnon. And Councilor McKinnon, we're following the law here as First Responder Day is officially a law in Bridgewater.
Yeah, today is the first out of many First Responder Days in the town of Bridgewater. And it's great. We got Plimpton, Plymouth, Bridgewater, West Bridgewater, Middleborough, plenty of first responders from surrounding communities here, which is what this is all about. This is a community building event, and here we are, all enjoying the weather for once, because last year the weather was never with us. It's a beautiful day in Bridgewater. And
what? Go ahead.
You can go ahead.
What led you to start this First Responders Day as law counselor?
A lot of my family members are in police or fire. I mean, my uncle down in Georgia, he is the main captain of his sheriff unit and all that. And no matter what, some people don't like cops and fire. No matter what, they're going to be there for you. You give them a call, they're there for you right away. So this is all about just showing they are appreciated in the small ways, because that's all it takes is events like this, and people realize that they are appreciated, and that's what those people should know, is that they are appreciated in all their communities.
Absolutely.
We talked with Paul Mulcahy of Black Cat Brewworks, a local business owner, about the community aspect of this event, and as a town councilor, I'd imagine it's great to see local residents coming out, local groups coming out, local businesses coming out, and really making this a true town event.
Oh yeah, no, it's great. You love seeing all the local food trucks around, a few vendors here. It's just, like I said, it's a community building event. This is what it's all about, getting the community together in one spot for 3 hours and just shaking hands, talking, you know, catching up with everyone. It's great to see. You got the music, kids running around in the field. You know, this wasn't grass, as we all know, a few months ago. And now look at, well, last year, I should say, not a few months ago, but.
I was going to ask you, Counselor, you know, Alan was telling me that this was all just overgrown and everything.
Yeah.
What's it like seeing it come alive again?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, me and Al, we were down here. It was at first, before we had a whole town cleanup, it was me and Al just out here. Weed whack. I had a DeWalt battery, a homeowner weed whacker out here with 4 different batteries, and that probably took me 20 different times coming out. Just, it was almost as tall as me, the weeds. It was overgrown. I live right there. You can see my house, not in the video, but I live right there, and I grew up across the street, ironically.
Okay.
So I know what this place has looked like throughout the years, and it was at its roughest shape, and it was just good. Me and Al got together because he had a Photoshop downstairs from me. We talked about this. He said, oh, it's great for me if I want to do spooky videos or pictures. And I'm like, well, is it good for the community? Because it is town property, you know? So we started cleaning it up, and then we put on Facebook a town cleanup for down here, and we got a decent amount of people here. All 3 of the counselors who are sadly leaving were the 3 that were here, and we didn't know, but the area they were working in was all the poison ivy. So they all got covered in poison ivy, but we had fun. We got a lot done during the town cleanup. We had, people brought machines down here. Me personally, I donated 120 yards worth of loom for this to go through. So it's just great to see it all come into fruition.
And the town council, I believe most of you signed on to that law there that saying that First Responder Day is a law.
Yep.
Why was it so important for the town council to come together as a group and sign off on this law?
It's just great to see all of us sign off on it because, like I said, it's all about community building. And when you see everyone's signature on that paper, you know everyone on the council is behind community building. And I know I'm probably beating the dead horse how much I'm saying community building, but that's my biggest thing here.
And we're recording this, but the next day after this event, I believe, is the town cleanup.
Yep.
And you're a big part in organizing that event. Just talk about the effort of the community coming together and simply grabbing a trash bag, grab some gloves, get a T-shirt, and start picking up all the trash because it adds up in town.
Oh, no, it does. It does. Especially, I mean, I'm not going to badmouth the college kids because we were all kids at one point, but I mean, just Spring Street. I go out there plenty picking up trash. I mean, you got all the people driving around the center of town littering at night. They don't care. So it is good because a lot of people do show up at the town hall, grab their bags, their gloves and all that, and go off for a 30-minute walk. And then you see them come back with a bag full of trash and you throw them right in Marshawn's trash bin this year.
I remember I covered it one year at Music Alley, and this was when the nip bin was coming into play.
Yep.
Someone just took a bag of nips, threw it in there, and you just heard plastic clanging against each other for about 2 minutes. Just insane to think what trash is just on the side of the roads in town.
Yeah. No, it is wild. It really is. I mean, like I said, just going up and down this street, the amount, like you said, nips. That is a big thing. You know, they're everywhere. You see the people driving, drinking them, tossing them. They don't care. But it is good that the town, like, again, is going to come out together and we're going to walk around with trash bags, clean up, and just give back. It's for Earth Day, which was last Monday, I believe. I think it was last Monday.
Yep.
But better late than never, right?
Well, Town Counselor Brad McKinnon, thanks for coming on. Also the co-host of On the Sidelines.
Yes,
also
sir.
seen on BTV. So a busy guy around these parts. Thanks for coming on for a few.
Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you.
It was nice meeting you, brother.
Absolutely.
John, good seeing you.
Thank you. Counselor McKinnon, join us. We'll have awards to hand out coming up right after the break.
What happens in downtown Bridgewater affects all of us.
Anybody that's been around me in this initiative, I use a lot of phrases and a lot of analogies. So one of my favorites.
How's everybody doing? My name is Lacerda. I'm the president of Fire for Effect Foundation. I know we did this event last year. The park looks a little bit different this year. It's getting a little bit better as we continue to do our work down here. So we are a 501c3 veteran and first responder nonprofit right here in Bridgewater. We operate out of Bridgewater, and we focus on our general area. Today is First Responder Day. We did it last year, like I said. The weather's a little bit better this year, thank God. But the purpose of this is community building. Today is not about our organization. It's about all the organizations in Bridgewater that we represent. Today is their day. Today is officially by law First Responder Day. The last Saturday in April from now until forever will be recognized as First Responder Day here in the town of Bridgewater, where we take a day and we recognize those people who sacrifice and keep our community safe. Nurses, doctors, military personnel, police, fire. We show them that as a community, we appreciate them and we celebrate them, and we do it every year from now on. So as a token of our appreciation for all the things you do for us as a community, and to tell the rest of the communities what we do here in Bridgewater and how they should do things in their towns, we want to present you with a plaque for your respective departments here in Bridgewater to show us our appreciation for you, and to recognize that today is your day and it will continue to be your day forever. I'd like to thank some of the councilmen that are here and recognize them for passing the law. I appreciate that. And to everybody else who's helped us continue to do our work here, we're just getting started. It's been 2 years. We're going to continue to do things like this and continue to grow our community and continue to grow it the right way. So all of you, thank you for attending. Thank you for coming today. And let's finish off the day right. And let's celebrate these people the way they should be celebrated. So it's only fitting that you guys hand the plaques to them. We got one for the police department, one for the fire department, and also for the police department over at Bridgewater State University. Thank you for your service, and thank you for all you do for our community. Today is your day. It has nothing to do with us. It's all about you. Billy Leeb is out there somewhere. Yeah, there you are. Thank you for being a great partner in this and helping me move this thing along, and we'll continue to grow it. And hopefully this message that we're sending to the rest of the communities will grow. And I'm hoping that they'll adopt this language and show the level of appreciation that's deserved in the other towns as well. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
So just, am I here? Hey. So we just have one more presentation here. Those of you who don't know me, Jeff Fowler, I'm here with Bridgewater Television. It's fantastic to have all of you here today. This is a fantastic event. We're very thankful for our first responders, and we thank all of them and thank all of you for being here. Before Al goes too far, I know he does say this isn't about him, but I think most of us would disagree. He's put in a tremendous amount of effort along with the Fire for Effect Foundation to really bring this area of town back to life and to gather everybody here today. So we appreciate Al. If you come back here for just a second, I do have a citation that would like to be presented today on behalf of the Plymouth County Commissioners in recognition of your hard work and commitment to the successful legislation of First Responder Day in the town of Bridgewater. It's dated April 27, 2024, and signed by all the Plymouth County Commissioners. So that is for you, Mr. Lacerda. Thank you for everything you do.
Back here at First Responder Day, Town River Landing, VTV parking lot. John Luck along with Travis Partington of Oscar Mike Radio, and we are joined by someone who just got a citation from Plymouth County. I know you love surprises.
Yeah, so, let's not make it about me. It's about everybody but me today, unfortunately. Well, I shouldn't say unfortunately. I do really appreciate it. It was a really nice gesture, unexpected, but it just goes to show you that we're reaching a wider swath of people who are kind of buying into the ideas here in Bridgewater.
And this is Lacerda, by the way, of Fire for Effect, the group that brought this all together, and a great turnout, a great day. And just talk about what went into First Responder Day that is now a law here in Bridgewater.
Right. Yeah. So, obviously I could not have done this without the support of many different people. Right. It took a lot of people buying into the idea of what we're trying to pull off here in Bridgewater to get this done. Last year, we had started the initial idea of doing First Responder Day, and we had First Responder Day, and the weather was not as good as you remember. But just trying to get the idea across that as a community, we should have a day to kind of show the people in this community that we appreciate their sacrifices and what they put into keeping us safe here in this town. So that started the initial idea. And after it was successful last year, we realized that, it was something that we really needed to continue to go after. So, we were lucky to have a lot of support from the town, a lot of the town counselors, and we were able to push forward that legislation that they passed as law here in Bridgewater, making the last Saturday in April First Responder Day officially. And that's nurses, doctors, police, fire, military personnel, and other people in the healthcare field to kind of say, hey, in Bridgewater, we appreciate you. And not just on a national level, because there are national days of recognition, but on a hometown level, where you work and who you represent appreciates you. So for us, that's something that doesn't cost any money, and it's something that as a gesture goes a long way.
Seeing this all come together, we've talked about this before, Alan, where it was an idea and you just had these ideas and we talked about it, and then to actually see this area transform and the whole city being able to come here and support it means what you're doing is working. But still, the question remains is, how did you get the support? How did you get people to buy into this idea that for a lot of people seem crazy, like, you're going to do what? But they all bought into it. How did that happen? And do you think?
Well, I mean, I can't speak as to what people thought in the beginning. I can only assume that they probably heard these ideas and thought, well, there's no way. That's a crazy idea, or the common comment that I got at first was, why are you wasting your time on a parking lot that nobody cares about?
Well, I was like, wait a minute, U.S. Marine photographer, media. This guy has crushed everything he's done. This is not if it's going to happen. It's just when. So I knew it was going to happen, but still, I'm sitting here and I'm like, this is actually here. Like right now, like we're sitting here together after seeing the Bridgewater VFW over 2 years ago. And seeing this come together, it's just really amazing.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, people often associate me with all of the successes, and it's really only because I happen to be the face of the thing. I get in front of the camera, I talk about what we're doing and what we're trying to accomplish. But ultimately, as much as I want things to happen, I can't. It never would happen if I didn't have the level of support that I had from the town. First of all, the town manager here in Bridgewater, Michael Dutton's been awesome. All the town counselors that passed that law. I mean, everybody's been very supportive. And I think in the beginning stages of it, to tell me that you think it's not possible or that you think it's crazy, that's just going to make me want to do it more. And, yeah, I mean, that's just
I can tell you that one for sure.
Yeah, that's just the nature of the beast. But to get other people to buy in, you have to show them. They have to see what you're doing. You have to bring them a product. In this case, it was really just hard work, getting people, and we had tons of volunteers and man hours. I can't say enough how much I appreciate the work of our local highway department. They came in, a lot of them on their own time, not getting paid, to help me bring these crazy ideas to fruition. But that told me that there's people in this town who support these types of things and want to see the town grow and become kind of the standard for how you should operate. And the idea here is that this grows, right? The legislation was passed, and now it's time for the other towns. So if you're out there, West Bridgewater, and you're out there, East Bridgewater, we're looking at you now. Let's get this legislation passed in your towns, and let's do the right thing and make this tri-town.
No, wait a minute, guys. I got a new question here.
Mm-hmm.
is there a West and East Bridgewater and a Bridgewater?
Yes. Yeah, they're three totally separate,
I'm sorry,
distinct
now
towns.
people, I'm not from around here.
This is the Bridgewater.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
I always thought it was West and East.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not originally from here, so I didn't realize at first, that there was such a hard line between the towns that it was.
So there's three of them
separate. Yeah, yeah. That's why we have tri-town festivities, and you have East, West, and Bridgewater. But I think
thanks for the lesson.
Yeah, I think we're on the right track. I think we're doing the right things, and really, when you're doing the right things and you're having results, that's all it really takes to get people to understand that, hey, these guys are serious. They do what they say they're going to do, and that's really what it's all about.
What's next for you?
I mean, we're going to continue our work here. Our goal is to beautify this area, bring it back to life again. For people that know of this area, I mean, this was all woods. This was all asphalt, old broken asphalt, trees everywhere that had been overgrown. And, when we tackled that project, we thought, like, let's give something back. Let's make this our first mission, to give this area back to the town so people can come and enjoy it safely, bring the families down here. And, our work continues. We're going to continue to, there's plans down here. I don't know. I'm not going to step on anybody's toes and make any crazy announcements about what the town is planning, but there are things being planned to make this place more family friendly. It's in a great area. There's some paving that's going to happen. And, we're going to continue to use it. So we have a series of events. I know Paul was probably talked a lot about what the future plans are as far as our events. Am I wrong?
Nope. We did talk about Brew Fest. We talked about Country Fest. I may have spilled beans about something coming up in August, but
Yeah.
We did talk about Thrive Music Festival. And
right.
I mean, I see you every day, so I know what you're going through each and every day planning events like this. For those that don't know about what goes into an event like this, the planning for this started, back in February, maybe January even?
Yeah. Right after we finished the last one, same time last year, we started working on this. And a lot of that was just getting the buy-in. And after we did it last year, people saw what it was all about. It was just easier to do. And getting other towns involved. I know you saw West Bridgewater. We saw the state police. We couldn't have done this without the support of the district attorney's office and Tim Cruz, outstanding guy. And, all these people that start to buy in and want to be included, that's what really helps these events go. So, getting other people involved and having them say, hey, this is your day. Invite the people you want to invite. Obviously, it takes some of the workload off for me. So, but, that's what it took to get this done. And as we move forward, I know next month we're planning the first ever Bridgewater Battle of the Bands.
Nice.
Injecting culture into the community, getting people together, undoing a lot of those things that were done during COVID times where people kind of backed themselves in the corners and isolated. Those days are over, and it's time to get back on track. It's time to get people working together and out here celebrating the right things. And I think that's going to be our mission going forward. So
we talked with Billy Leeb earlier about being able to have these first responders kind of let their guard down, because typically when we see the police, when we see the fire department, ambulance, usually something's happening that we don't want to happen. But an event like this, it kind of lets everyone's guards down a little bit, and you can stop by the food trucks. You can stop by South Shore Smokehouse, Black Hat Brew Works. You can have a drink, have a snack with some of these people, and just strike up a conversation.
Yeah, I mean, that's really what it was all about. Back for a lot of people don't know that I was in policing for quite a while before I transitioned out of that for various reasons. But community policing is very important. Getting people together to interact on a person-to-person level. Your next crop of firefighters and police officers are walking around this park right now.
Yeah.
So if they don't get the interaction with you and all they see is the negativity that's being pushed in many different places, it doesn't bode well for the future. So our job is to undo a lot of that, to kind of take control over that, and to get them to be able to come and see these awesome men and women as people and interact with them. And I think that we were successful in doing that today. But also because of the way the legislation was written, we have the Army here, we have the Marines here, we have the Air Forces here. All of these things come together to make a community better. And I feel like I'm pretty confident that we succeeded in doing that this year. So
absolutely.
Well, great job on the event. Lacerda having a big part in putting this all together. And actually, a big part in putting all this together too. Spearheading this effort, we have Mike Moriello in the truck. We do have our wireless cameraman, Jeff Fowler, currently snacking on some of the food that is here at the smokehouse. Didn't get us any, but we'll look past that. Looks like he's enjoying chicken tenders and fries. But Al Lacerda, thank you so much for coming on, and thank you for putting this day together.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I hope everybody had a good day, and I hope that we can continue to grow these events and do more for the town of Bridgewater. But I will say this: if you are somebody who is like-minded, if you are somebody who believes that you can get out and do some of these things, call us. Reach out to us. We will find a spot for you. We will get you involved. If you're a veteran that's struggling and you just need somebody and you need something, call us. Call us. Call me. We will get you in there. We will get you involved, and you can help us grow this thing together.
And how can we learn more about Fire for Effect?
Yep. So you can follow us on social media, Fire for Effect Foundation. You can also go to our website, ffefinc.org, and send us an email. Give us a phone call. We'll be happy to talk to you. And like I said, if you need something in your life right now, because I know a lot of people out there are struggling with mental health issues, you feel like you don't have anything that you can do, you feel left out, give us a call. We're here for you. We'll get you to work, and we'll get you involved.
All right, Al Lacerda, thanks so much for coming on. We're going to take another break here at First Responder Day.
Hey everyone, are you aware that Bridgewater Television has a multi-million-dollar facility with some of the best equipment available? Are you aware that we have a multi-million-dollar television truck? This year, coming into the new year, we're going to be focused on bringing a higher level of production to all our local sporting events. But we need your help. Are you aware that as a student, you can gain credits for coming and working with us and volunteering your time? This year, we want you to come join us and be part of our truck crew and show up at these games, and let's bring a higher level of production value to all our sporting events here in Bridgewater.
Back here at First Responder Day, and you heard earlier that we have various branches of the military, and we actually have a member of the military joining us here from the U.S. Army. This is Sam High. Thank you so much for coming by and talking to us.
Thank you for having me.
So you're here with the U.S. Army, and just talk about the day as a whole. It's a relaxed atmosphere, kind of a chance for everyone to come in, let their guards down a little bit. Just talk about your role with the Army.
Yeah, absolutely. We love coming out to events like this and just supporting our local community. My role right now in the Army, I'm a sergeant first class, and I'm on recruiting duty. So it is my job to teach people the different benefits that we offer and how they can take advantage of them, either in the full-time Army or the part-time Army Reserve.
And I believe you actually had a robot here. I see it holding one of the U.S. Army cups. Can you just talk about the robot that we have on the table?
Yeah, so that robot, he's our little STEM robot. We like to use him in little obstacle courses. A lot of folks, when they hear about the United States Army, they think that we're all very action-oriented, and sometimes they forget that we are very heavy into the science and technology fields.
And you have a background in that. You were talking about military intelligence. Just talk about how that figures into the role of the Army.
Yeah, absolutely. So I spent about 8 years in the military intelligence field. I was a linguist for the Army. They actually paid me to go learn Persian Farsi. A lot of my job was receiving intelligence, translating it to English, and then giving it to forward operators so they could use it.
So one of the things, just to go back to the STEM part of the Army, that people are not realizing. A lot of people think the Army is just about, you're in the Army now, you're not behind a plow. Like, I know your song. So there's also the aspect where science fiction's almost coming into the Army in terms of AI, in terms of robotics, in terms of making better decisions on the battlefield. How do you communicate that to a 17 to 25-year-old person who's not really sure where they want to go in life?
Oh, absolutely. So with science and technology in the Army, a good way to think about it is a lot of the amenities that we have now was cutting edge technology that the Army was using in the past. We come up with these new technologies, we field test new technologies, and then they go out into the public sector and they become kind of these daily tools that we use. An example of this would be the ArcGIS program that firefighters use and forest services use to track wildfires and stuff. This was actually a technology that the military was using long before it hit the public sector.
And I think something interesting about the Army is I believe they actually pay for a good amount of education when you get into into the higher learning. I think they have a significant role with Bridgewater State. A lot of people, when they think about the Army, they think about just going right out to the field. This is what you're going to do. But the Army truly develops you into a better person for the future.
Yes. So a lot of folks, when they hear about the United States Army, they only think about what they see in the movies, that full-time action man. We do have the Army Reserves. You can be a part-time soldier serving your country and a full-time student pursuing your passion in your education. And we help foot that bill as a thank you for serving your country.
What can you tell me, Sergeant First Class, about the Soldier for Life program? Because to me, it's kind of on the other side of this, where the Army veteran serves and they go to get out. But you know what? The Army can be a real, springboard for their civilian life. And also they can retain that Army esprit de corps.
Yes, absolutely. So Soldier for Life encompasses many different programs as part of it. We have a partnership for youth success. We have a public partnership that all helps with employment once you're a veteran. It's very much a comprehensive program that's tied into when you exit the military. That way, that support structure and that camaraderie never really leaves.
Got it.
And if there's anybody that's watching this right now that's really interested in this aspect of the Army, what's the best way to get in touch with you folks? Because this is recorded, so people may be watching this back and saying, ooh, I wish I stopped by that tent. What's the best way to learn a little bit more about the great work you do?
So for us, we cover a lot of the South Shore of Massachusetts. And if you want to get in touch with a recruiter, you can go to goarmy.com, fill out your information, and they will link you up with whatever recruiter is closest to you.
Well, thank you very much for your service, and best of luck recruiting more people today to join the great U.S. Army. Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Over hill, over dale, as we hit the dusty trail, and our caissons go rolling along.
We have to add one more thing. She was actually the only one brave enough to come in here and talk with us. I didn't know we were that intimidating.
You know what, Sergeant?
Hey, biggest best branch best.
The Air Force turned this down, but you stepped right up.
You gotta,
no doubt.
We're the biggest, baddest branch for a reason.
Already trash talking for Army Navy. Here we go. We have more coming up right after this.
Sir, we've reported structure fire coming in 1221 Bedford Street. Received 1221 Bedford. We're en route. Angel 1 to fire alarm. You said you're receiving multiple calls? That's affirmative, sir. Multiple 911. Confirming visible fire. Bridgewater Fire Alarm to all receivers. Report to station 1221 Bedford Street. Possible working fire. Car 2, you're going to have a West Bridgewater ladder responding to your scene. Receive, sir. Reports everybody's out of the building.
It's going to be a fire, at least on the second floor attic space. I'm still trying to find entrance.
Engine 4 received. We're tying into a hydrant now.
West Bridgewater Fire, striking box 5. Ladder 1 to the town of Bridgewater for a working fire. All members report.
You're reporting 80 by 60. Heavy smoke coming from the eaves.
Sir, go to a second alarm on this.
Receive, sir. Under the orders of Chief Schlatt. Second alarm, 1221 Bedford Street.
Roof is already vented. You got a heavy fire in the upper floors. Sir, we're going to evacuate the building. Do a special alert.
All companies working at 1221 Bedford Street, evacuate the building. Evacuate the building, 1221 Bedford Street. All companies.
Sir, what do we have coming here right now?
Our engine 1, our engine 4, our engine 3, a Raynham tower en route, a Whitman engine en route at your wrist.
Engine 1 to engine 1 pump. Have any more water? Cap, we're back out. Live wires on the ground. Live wires on the ground.
Yeah, per request of the fire department, we're going to have to shut down 18.
Follow the pump. If you can get us more pressure, that would be great. Pump, we'll take whatever you can give us. I know water's an issue, but we'll take whatever you can give us up there. Tower 1 bucket. You're going to lose water pressure. We got the Raynham towers operate, Bridgewater towers operate. We have a water pressure issue. We have East Bridgewater attempting to tie into a hydrant down the street. Majority of the fire is knocked down. I got some interior fire we can hit from here. Might be advantageous. Chief, we got another garage door back here on the Charlie side. I'd like to try and get it opened up. Chief, just be advised, it's a double roof. The rubber roof underneath this metal roof. We do have most of the heavy fire knocked down between the two. Engine 1 to command. We've made entry to the garage on the Charlie side. No fire visible in that one bay or the roof. Commander, Captain Luckman, you guys are in that building. Get everybody out. We're all out, Command.
Back here at First Responder Day, Town River Landing, John Luck, along with Travis Partington of Oscar Mike Radio, and we are joined by our final guest of the day, Luke from Garrison Speed Shop. Thanks so much for coming on and talking to us for a little bit.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Yeah.
So let's talk about your partnership with Lacerda. This goes back to last year. You actually had a bike ride here, a motorcycle ride in Bridgewater.
Yeah, so last year in August, Al and his team teamed up with us, and we did a kind of a two-part event where we led a ride over here, and we came back here and we had music, great time. It's all to benefit veterans and first responders locally.
And just tell us a little bit about Garrison Speed Shop and what you guys do.
Yeah, so myself and Ben Hendricks, we co-found and direct Garrison Speed Shop. We're both combat vets. We came home, had our struggles, transitioning back to civilian life. One of the things that helped us transition through was was motorcycles, and it was that outlet of putting our hands on tools and building our bikes, fixing our bikes, and really be able to bring them back to life. And quite frankly, it just kind of not to sound cliche, but it kind of brought us back, and it helped us be better people for our family and our friends. And so what we do over there is we have service bays that vets and first responders come in, and free of charge they can book up those bays, facilitate their own projects, or they can come to one of us that's on staff and have assistance to get them through that project. And we do vocational training clinics, welding, metal fabrication, all things that tied in. What we usually do is we kind of compare it to equine therapy, except our horses are iron.
So you've been doing this for like a year and a half now, right? And you start off with a very simple idea and then made it this thing. How's it been building this from nothing to what you have now?
Surreal.
Yeah?
It doesn't feel real. The support we've had locally, and just how it's organically all come to be. Nothing's been forced. Ben and I are by no means salesmen. We're just a couple knuckle draggers, figuring our way through life. And this organization, and we've been really lucky to have great people surround us and support us, and that's how we're here today.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like, a long time ago, there was this concern for veterans when they come home, would they have a place, or where would they, get back into society and things like that. To have a great effort like you have with the Speed Shop, and there's other great efforts as well. Just talk about how important it was to have something like that to come back to when you came back home as a veteran.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important, whether it's the Garrison Speed Shop or another place that has therapeutic outlets. We come home and I think a lot of it's we put on ourselves, but we don't feel like we fit in, and it's because of some of the extreme experiences that we've been through. That we feel like nobody can relate. So having that place you can go to where you can have that relatability, that guy or girl at that bay next to you working on something like, oh, hey, you served at Fort Hood, I served at Fort Hood, and oh, you deployed here, when did you go? I was there too. And you just have that commonality. It builds that support system, and that's super important. I would say veterans are one of the first groups to jump out and help somebody else, but we can be extremely stubborn and help ourselves last. So we don't necessarily pay attention to that check engine light sometimes. So,
what is it about the motorcycle that is so healing? Because a lot of people don't understand that.
Oh man, it's hard to put it in words. I mean, I'd say on the mechanical side, being working on it, it's kind of more intimate, where you're able to, you understand your bike better. You have that sense of self-satisfaction that you did it yourself. You saved yourself money. You learned something. You learned something about your bike. You learned something about working with tools. Maybe you got into a larger project that when you were first starting, you're like, oh no, what did I do? And you figured it out, and you just have that pride that comes with it. When it comes to the road, I mean, as you can attest, I mean, there's been days I've had horrible days, and I get on my motorcycle, and I've literally, there's one day that I always go back to when I have this kind of conversation. I went probably 100 yards down the road from my house, and I felt like my shoulders just melted. and I just had this ridiculous smile that just came on my face, and can't explain it except for it works, you know? Yeah.
And for anyone that wants to learn more about what you do and the Speed Shop as a whole, what's the best way to reach out to you?
So the best way to reach out to us is go on our website, www.garrisonspeedshop.org. And you can go on there and find out anything you want about our mission, how to rent service bays or book service bays for free if you're a veteran first responder. Come in, register for a clinic. So that's where you can find all the information.
All right, Luke Garrison, thank you so much for coming in, and hopefully you had a great day here with all the people for First Responder Day, and we look forward to seeing you more here in the parking lot at BTV and more of these festivals.
Absolutely, sounds great. Thanks for having me.
All right,
Thank
we'll
you.
take one more quick break. We're back to wrap things up right after this.
We did have temperature.
Sometimes it's hard to know where to start when the cycle never stops. You're not alone. Visit maketheconnection.net to learn more.
Back here wrapping things up, John Luck along with Travis Partington of Oscar Mike Radio, and anyone for tuning in a little bit late here. What's the best way to find out about the podcast you have?
Simply go to my website, worldwideweb.oscarmikeradio.com, all one word, or search me on Facebook, YouTube, Oscar Mike Radio.
And if you want to volunteer at BTV, you saw the cameras here today. You can do so by visiting btvaccess.com or call our studio 508-697-1833. Jeff or myself can certainly point you in the right direction at where to start volunteering. So as you walk by, maybe you saw cameras, maybe you want to take part, who knows? But Travis, what's your biggest takeaway from today? Because it was a great day here in Bridgewater.
All right, takeaway one on the lighter side. John, I've been lucky to be with you today. Awesome. I just think it's great seeing how somebody has that idea, that concept that might seem strange or just like, whoa, and then slowly but methodically work toward making it happen. And you look at the beautiful park we have here and the people all around, and it's like, you know, I think Paul had it right. It's more fun to solve the problem. And, you know, this solving the problem will lead to other things being solved. So just seeing it happen, it's just been an amazing experience.
And Travis, it's been great working with you and an honor to work with you. Thank you for your service to the country. And for me, you know, you talk about that part. I talk about the community aspect because, you know, a few years ago, you have an event like this. I think a lot of people would think you're crazy, but we had Al Lacerda here and people thought he was crazy for wanting to put this together and kind of spearhead this effort. And here we are. This is the first event of what we expect to be a number of events coming up this summer. I might have perhaps dropped an Easter egg or two. If you watch back, you can learn a little bit more about the events coming up. But I know we have Brewfest coming up this summer, as well as Country Fest, Battle of the Bands. That should be awesome. A lot of great local talents coming here. And of course, the 2-day Thrive Festival that comes up at the end of September.
So this is going to be the place to be. You want to stay tuned in and plugged in to what's going on in Bridgewater.
Great place to be. And we thank you so much for joining us and taking time out of your day and evening to watch. We'll talk to you later.